They say records are meant to be broken, but some NBA players do the impossible.
Here's Curry for the record. It's good! And there it is!
By Stephen Curry's 6th season, he was already setting some of the NBA's most unbreakable records, and eventually broke his first NBA record, most three-pointers made in a single season. 286. And at the time, that seemed impossible to beat. Just look at this. Before Steph, nobody ever even came close to hitting 300 in a season. Cause to do that, you'd have to make nearly 4 three-pointers every game. And the only player close to reaching that number was Ray Allen. But in 2016, Steph shocked the world. That year, Steph dropped over 5 three-pointers every single night. And that put Steph on pace to set some of the NBA's most legendary records. In a single season, Steph didn't just hit 300, he hit 402 three-pointers. And yet, that's nothing compared to Steph's most unbreakable record ever. For the next 5 years, Steph followed a trend each season, hitting over 200 three-pointers. And eventually in 2021, Steph was creeping up on the only record Ray Allen had left. So coming into a Knicks-Warriors matchup, and Steph being just 2 away, Ray had to be there to witness history.
So Steph to tie it. There it is! He equals Ray Allen very quickly, barely took a minute, and stands on the doorstep of history right now. Here's Curry for the record. It's good! And there it is! Stephen Curry, the all-time three-point king in the NBA!
Now, even though Ray was cheering, I know deep down that had to hurt. Because for Ray to hit that many threes, it took him 1,300 games. But for Steph, he did it in nearly half the games, at only 789. So let's just say Steph keeps up his career average, he'll be the first player ever to top over 4,000 threes, where nobody has or will ever come close. But that's just one of many NBA records that are unbreakable. And LeBron James' record isn't even humanly possible. At just 18 years old, LeBron was already tasked with facing the best players in the world. So nobody expected this kid to set records. Until LeBron's rookie year, he started scoring 21 points per game. Now, keep in mind this was a time where scoring was drastically different. So for a teenager to come in and instantly put his name alongside legends, it just didn't make sense. And doing something so unheard of jump-started LeBron's path towards setting some of the most unbreakable records in NBA history. Over the last 20 years, no matter what team LeBron's been a part of, he's averaged over 27 points every single game. And because of that, he became the youngest player ever to score 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, literally every 1,000 points, up to where he's at today. And here in 2022, LeBron's defying Father Time, where some thought he'd decline, but instead began scoring more points per game than in his prime. And one night, LeBron just had to cement himself as the king.
James a three. That's good. LeBron James with his 3rd three-pointer.
That right there put LeBron on top of the all-time scoring list for regular season and playoffs. Over 44,000 points, and the craziest part is, he's still going. So with LeBron not considering retirement for at least 5 more years, if he continues averaging just 20 points a night, he'll be the first player ever to score over 50,000 points. That is crazy. LeBron's record isn't going anywhere, but at least his scoring record is something he can be proud of, because one player so known for chasing records, he gets roasted by the entire NBA. Throughout Russell Westbrook's decade with OKC, the man became one of the NBA's fiercest players. But in 2016, when his sidekick Kevin Durant betrayed him, Westbrook made it his mission to do something historic. So immediately after, he started putting up numbers nobody's ever seen. It basically became the Westbrook usual to see him put up 28, 10, and 10. But people weren't realizing that Westbrook wasn't only chasing wins or triple-doubles, he was trying to set a record that would never be broken. 41 triple-doubles later, everything came down to one of the final games in the 2016 season, where Westbrook became the first player in nearly 50 years to have a chance of breaking one of the NBA's most infamous records.
Pull up at the other end and score over Chandler. And Westbrook runs right onto the rebound, and this crowd understands that something's going on here. Russell Westbrook is one assist away from NBA history. And he's got it! That is the stuff of legends right there. With his 42nd triple-double, Russell Westbrook has broken the single-season record. History rewritten in Denver. Denver's out of timeouts. Adams gives it back to Russ. Deep shot. What a perfect ending to a historic day!
Yeah, 50 points, a record, and the game winner? Well, after all, that legendary record took an entire season. What if I told you one of the most unbreakable NBA records only took 9 minutes?
They're going to start to move the ball now. And Watson drops a three.
Little confidence. They've really turned it up in 30-9.
Harrington, great passing. Lawson got it. So Lawson, after some early... Lawson hits a three. Granted, it's independence in 2006. Lawson again. Yes!
Ty Lawson is lighting things up here at the Pepsi Center.
Forbes. Great dish. Again! Terrific. Lawson. Another three.
Yes! 7 for 7.
Lawson, long distance.
8 for 8.
Try it again.
9 for 9. He has just tied the NBA record for most three-pointers consecutively in a game
From holding his own NBA record.
Ty Lawson, the new NBA record holder for most three-pointers in a row without a miss.
10 three-pointers in a row. Like, bro, how's nobody gonna D up on that? But low-key, Ty Lawson's a dumbass. Cause dude really went out there before he subscribed to Hoop Flix. Come on, man, don't be like Ty Lawson. Subscribe. But anyways, his other mistake came at the end of the third quarter, when dude threw up a 28-foot shot for no reason and bricked.
Lawson throws it up. And if that is a three-point attempt, if that'd go in, that'd have been amazing. Oh, it is. Wow.
If he hadn't done that, he would have broken another NBA record, the most threes made in a game without a miss. But whatever. To this day, the only recent player that's come close to Ty's record was LeBron James. But during this game, even he only hit 5 in a row. So if LeBron can't even beat it, nobody can. But just imagine the most humiliating moment of a player's life actually became an unbreakable record. Well, in 2017, the Bucks felt they were one missing piece away from being championship contenders. And during free agency, they had their eyes on a player who just had the best season of his career, putting up 10 points per game and shooting almost 40% from 3. So the Bucks sent a contract nobody could deny for none other than Tony Snell. Once Snell signed that deal, he instantly took his game to a record-breaking level, scoring double digits in 3 straight games. The man was on fire, so what could go wrong? But right on cue, things got ugly. 0 points. Okay, that's not that bad. Oh my god, somehow Tony Snell didn't get a single stat the entire game. Man was really out there for 28 minutes running the pacer test. No wonder why fans photoshopped him onto Wilt Chamberlain. Now, Snell saw the memes, and deep down, it hurt him. Seeing yourself become a laughingstock of the NBA, it could make or break your career. But Snell, he used that pain as motivation to set one of the most unbreakable records of all time. In 2020, Snell found his way to Atlanta and vowed to never become a meme again. Throughout that season, Snell made his way into the record books. From the field, he shot 51%. From 3, he shot 57%. And from the free throw line, literally 100%. Pretty much anytime he got the ball, it was a green light. Snell's numbers were so unreal, he made his way into a club with 0 members, the 50-50-100 Club. And just to put things into perspective, it's already a rare accomplishment for players to hit the 50-40-90 Club. Some of those notable members include Larry Bird, Steve Nash, Stephen Curry, and Kevin Durant. But even they weren't close to Tony Snell. So wait, not bad for a dude who became a meme. But one player's unbreakable record became an NBA cover-up. It was Pacers vs. Warriors. And even though Golden State fans are used to their players making history, I doubt anybody expected this.
Monte for a second. Klay Thompson feet set and 3 down. Klay attacking and flipping it up and in. Klay Thompson, open look. Yes, sir. Draymond just took it from Monte. Klay went to the three-point line and dropped in another one. And the bench is going nuts.
Didn't choose to take it.
Oh, Klay's feeling it now. Another 3.
Will take it. And will.
And Klay has 40 in the first half. Wow. Klay's 3. There it is. A new career high. 54 for Klay Thompson. Warriors are having fun. Klay for 3. Good. Corner 3. 60 for Klay Thompson.
God damn, Klay literally couldn't miss. And that's why he pulled off one of the craziest individual games in NBA history. He became the first player ever to score 60 points in less than 30 minutes on only 11 dribbles. It was recorded that Klay only touched the ball 52 times during a total of 88 seconds. Just think about this. A typical NBA game lasts 48 minutes. So with Klay only playing in 29, that means while he was out there on the floor, he scored just under 3 points every single minute. So if he wasn't rested the entire fourth quarter, Klay Thompson had a shot at breaking the NBA's most unbreakable record. During Wilt Chamberlain's historic game, he scored 2.8 points per minute. And scoring at that pace caused him to set a record that's remained untouchable for over 60 years. But Wilt's ain't just a record. It became one of the NBA's biggest mysteries. In 1962, not only were two of the NBA's most popular teams facing off in a thriller, Wilt Chamberlain was single-handedly backpacking the NBA. This man was averaging over 50 points per game. So you'd think a game of this magnitude would be broadcasted live, right? Well, here's where things get weird. The night before his matchup, Wilt stayed out partying and didn't make it back home till 6 a.m. Now, hungover with no sleep, just making it to the game was a miracle, let alone setting a record. But Wilt was determined, and that night, he made things unbreakable.
Ruckenbill, back to Ruckwick, in the chamber.
100 points. Up to that point, no player had even scored 80. So Wilt's historic performance became one of the most famous games in NBA history. And yet, what if I told you it didn't even happen? See, for decades, most people didn't question the record, but some eventually discovered the truth. Just taking a look at the game's box score, it doesn't add up. Now, don't get it twisted. It isn't unreasonable to make 36 out of 63 shots. And Wilt grabbing 25 rebounds? He basically did that on a daily basis. But there's one stat I want you to look at very closely. Wilt's 28 of 32 from the free throw line, 87.5%. Listen, you mean to tell me on this one night, the one time cameras weren't flashing, he magically turned into Stephen Curry? Nah, we're talking about Wilt Chamberlain, one of the worst free throw shooters of all time. Throughout his career, this dude barely averaged 50%. So how could he randomly shoot nearly perfect? And just think about this. Up until that game, Wilt only had one similar performance. His second highest scoring game was 78 points. But even that took him 3 overtimes. Logically, this 100-point game just doesn't make sense. And it turned out the NBA was hiding something. Rumor has it that because the league was just 11 years old, this game was a ploy by the NBA to attract viewership and increase ratings. So whether or not the greatest scoring performance in NBA history actually happened, the only proof we have is a radio broadcast that sounded like it was recorded with a toaster, and a dude holding up a piece of paper with the number 100 on it. So technically, if we're talking unbreakable records that we can actually see, Klay Thompson could add the greatest scoring record in NBA history. But honestly, there's something even crazier than that. The time a player humiliated LeBron James so badly, he almost died. And I know you want to hear more about that, so just click this video right here.